This lab is called Shake It. So for this lab, what you need 2 bottles. You need one that's full and one that is empty. Now, I use sand because I use these bottles year after year, and I don't want to have to deal with water or anything else that might be in it. Sand's just real easy. So I have a full bottle and I have an empty bottle. So in this lab, we're looking at Newton's first law, which is known as the law of inertia. So the idea behind this lab is to be able to distinguish between inertia and weight. We're gonna do 3 different experiments on these bottles. The first experiment we're gonna do is we're gonna shake them, hence the title of the lab. So you're gonna grab the necks of each of the bottles, flip them upside down, and you're gonna shake them back and forth as hard as you can. So you should feel that, well, obviously that this one, the one with sand, is gonna feel, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to shake than that empty one. Notice I can shake the empty one a lot faster than the full one. Now, I need to decide, well, what's resisting now? Why is this one harder? Why is the full one harder than the empty one, right? What's resisting my force? Is it going to be the bottle's inertia or weight? Now, the next experiment we're gonna do is we're gonna set them on the table and try to flick them horizontally across the table, right? So you can see it's pretty difficult to flick that full one, and the empty one, pretty easy. Once again, we're gonna think, what is resisting you flicking that bottle? Is it gonna be the bottle's inertia, or is it going to be the bottle's weight? The next experiment we're gonna do is we're gonna hold these bottles out, like outstretched in each hand. You can feel the heavier bottle pulling down a lot more than the empty bottle. So the question behind this is, well, what am I feeling? Am I feeling the bottle's weight or inertia? So in order to try to visualize this a little bit more, think about doing all 3 of these experiments on the moon, where the gravity is going to be 1/6 that of Earth's. So think about holding these upside down and shaking them back and forth. Think about setting them on a table and flicking them. Think about holding them. Which one of them gets easier? Which one, do they get easier? Do they get difficult? Or do they stay the same? Think about going to a planet with more gravity, right? How would this affect it, right? Which of these experiments would change? Last one I like to visualize is, imagine we're in the International Space Station, where we can remove gravity from the situation altogether. So think about holding these bottles like this and shaking them. Would I still get the same result? If I set them out and I flick them, would I still get the same result? Would this one still be harder to flick than this one? Last one is, hold them out like this, right? If you're on the International Space Station where we remove gravity, well, would this one change? Would holding them outstretched like this change? So that's an easy way to visualize, okay, in these 3 experiments, what am I feeling? Am I feeling the object's weight or inertia? So once again, this is the Shake It Lab.